Titillate the juices. You know what? Woo! Right now. Woo! Woo!
Dr. Hughes invites followers. Oh, let's see if they increase now. Me too. Yeah, wow. Dr. Hughes.
Mock-ass mock.
He's a great podcaster.
Trick-ass mock.
Acknowledge me.
We coming for you, nigga. Fat.
Yeah, Dr. Hughes, here we go. Keep plugging yourself, that's cool.
First up, a man whose looks will serve your inner needs and desires.
Dr. Hughes.
Yep, I'm out of sorts today. You can hear me now, though. So the show is officially starting now. I was just saying a bunch of nothing, which gets you so many more viewers, Sasha Reigns, in Philly Sports Pride. Yep, thanks for the heads up. You know, there's a checklist, literally a checklist I have to go through and make sure, you know, all the bells and whistles are working. You know, this stuff it's pretty hard. It's gotten easier with the restreams and things, but the podcasting in general. So yeah, what was I saying? I was saying so many funny, awesome things just a minute ago. I think the what are we calling them? The podcast people, they heard what I said, maybe, unless I record off of this, which then they won't hear that. Can you hear me now? Are we good now? We should be good now. Let me double check. Yep. That's what it's supposed to be. Let me write it in the chat. I know there's a lag. And then we can get this party started. In caps. Mama Reigns is here, but she is asleep. Good. My voice puts a lot of people to sleep sometimes. Very soothing voice. I just had to re-up on X. So if you think I'm trying to get this check mark to be cool, I'm not. I'm getting it so I can stream on X. The other perks, do I really care? I mean, it will make me, it's actually good for like the WWE and stuff because now I'll like reply to things. Since I haven't had the check mark in a couple of weeks, I wasn't planning on getting it. And then I went to go live today and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, $120. I'm like, oh my God, you know, we're killing it though with the store lately. Folks are going over to the store. This is a way you can, you know, I wouldn't say donate, contribute to the show. Maybe keep it going forever and ever. You know, some people, they want to be paid to be guests on the show. Can you believe that? Gorilla was not one of those. He was a good bro. I told him I'd push his book a little more. If you don't know about him, he is former Howard Stern intern for 1 million years. You know, getting paid nothing there by that cheapskate Howard Stern. And he's, you know, he left there many, many years ago, but he's a superstar in my book. So go check that out as well. Of course, I got the album. If you like that weird electronic music that I make, check it out. Also, a warning to everybody. You know, don't take everything I say super serial. If you do, you know, it's on you. That's on you. So, we got many things to talk about. How about this face? He's scared to death. I love this Damian Priest. So all these people that are acting like Damian Priest isn't like over and can't get over or something of this magnitude here. No, not even close to that. He can get over. He's hilarious. He's huge. He can wrestle. Has he botched a move or two here? Yeah. Who hasn't? So even you people out here aren't even wrestlers are botching your moves. Just walking into like supermarkets and things. I've seen it. So he's actually doing something physical. He's a pro's pro. They tell him to go out there and you look like the soul is leaving your body because you were just slammed on stairs by Drew McIntyre and you're making this face while you get the chain snatched from you, your Jesus piece of all things. Oh my goodness. Sacrilegious. It's blasphemous. See, Drew McIntyre's upped his game up now too, folks. He's gone from stealing bracelets. I mean, come on. A fan made you a bracelet about that says your wife and dog. What? I'm sure you got a million of them. But that Jesus piece, maybe his grandma gave it to him. Like in Friday. That face. It's amazing. I love it. I'm no Titus O'Neil. Titus World Slide. That was also one of the greatest moments. I would say, hey, how about this? I'm going to go out and here's a hot take for everybody. Get ready, TMZ. Listen up. Titus Worldwide, when he did the Titus World Slide at the greatest WrestleMania ever in Saudi Arabia, that was top 5 wrestling moment, top 10. You know, we got to fit most of the real wrestling business stuff in the 5, but that's a top 10 wrestling moment. Will never be forgotten. Up there with the Shockmaster, maybe even better than the Shockmaster. Maybe even better. Damian better win because he got moved over to SmackDown. Everybody was all scared for him. Then Drew McIntyre got moved over to SmackDown. Everybody got all scared about that because everybody innately knows the SmackDown show, a 3-hour show on network TV still, is the B show. The A show is on a subscription on Netflix, right? So when you got guys, top guys, like Priest and McIntyre, both recently champions, even if it was for under 5 minutes in McIntyre's example, going to SmackDown and being the best on the B team, not great. Not great for them, but let's see what they make of it. They're in a street fight this week. There we go. They're in a street fight this week, or coming week. WrestleMania in Las Vegas, a Las Vegas street fight. What makes that different? I don't know. They're going to be in Las Vegas. The Philly street fights, what's different about those? I think you have to wear jeans, dungarees in a Philly street fight. I think that, and bandanas have to be involved somehow. The Sleaze is going to be joining me in a little bit, running a little late. You know, King Reezy. He may show, he may not. Expert analyst, especially out in the indie scene. He's going to be at WrestleMania weekend. He's going to be taking videos. I told him, just act like you're a journalist. Walk into whatever event you want to walk into and be like, I'm supposed to be. Act like you're supposed to be there. And then everybody else will act like you're supposed to be there too. Works all the time. Every time I crash a wedding and a funeral, just like Will Ferrell, works. Haven't been called out on it once yet. And if they really press you on it, just start yeeting. Yeet! Everybody will get behind it. We'll all start yeeting and everybody will forget. Yeet! Yep. I hope he's listening because I don't want to explain this again. Because I already did in text. Now I did it on the show. Maybe I'll send him a letter, snail mail, get there by next week, and I'll relay this message of, you know, you're the man, Reezy. If you're going to WWE, that's a big deal because you're on this show. You come on to the Dr. WrHUGEshow. So now you're a big deal. Act like it. Thank you. Yep. The B show, more like the F show, Philly Sports Pride says. Wow. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's just long. You can tell they got all the mid-card and low-card stuff on there. Like, what was the deal with that women's tag match last night? It was a gauntlet, sorry. So, I seen Bayley and Lyra come out at the beginning. And I went, wait a second, they're a tag team now? They just fought last week. I get it. They're still friends. Bayley's still good. They almost swerved you. They almost got you. But now maybe they're setting something up for Mania. I don't know. Either way, Bayley and Lyra have nothing to do in WrestleMania. And they're not going to make a one-on-one match for the Intercontinental title, the ladies' title. Maybe not even the men's. I don't know what's going on with the men's. That's a fatal four-way. So you need to add more people in. So I guess they're going to do a thing with the tag titles at Mania. Because Liv Morgan and Raquel Welch, whatever her name is now, Rodriguez, they're always changing it on me. Gonzalez, Rodriguez, like, what's the difference? You know, what's the difference really when we're talking about these names? So they're in WrestleMania. They need something to do, them two. So they're pairing them both up. And this is a gauntlet match. So now you got all the rest of the ladies in your wrestling division that is probably the lowest of the low when it comes to everything. They already got rid of the lady NXT tag titles. This one feels like it's almost out of here too, but they need it because they're always tagging these women up together. So they bring out team after team that we all know if you've been watching any wrestling the past week or two. Shout out to William. I mean, and Lyra and Bailey go in first, which is a bad idea if you're going to have them win anyway. And they just mop the floor with every team that comes in there. Well, who was it? It was Baszler and Zoe Stark. Then it was, you know, the dance club girls, Chance and Katana, something like that. And then who else? Did I write it down? I might have wrote this down because I'm professional like that. Did I? I mean, there are a lot of things that aren't worthy to be written down. I did though. The Secret Hervis, they come out there and lose. They were the last team to get beat by Lyra and Bailey. And the funny part in that match, Piper couldn't get over the rope. You know when they pull the rope down and the bad guy goes running at it, like, they just like dump themselves over. Well, she got hung up and she was like trying to pull herself over and then she landed right back in the ring. So that gave me a good laugh. Thank you for that, Piper. That was good stuff. And but yeah, overall, I mean, all these tag teams that have been around, they're all getting beaten handily by Bailey and Lyra, who aren't even a tag team. I understand what they're trying to do. They want them in WrestleMania, but could you make it more obvious? Okay, so I guess the other thing would be they want to get everybody on TV WrestleMania season. They're trying to showcase everybody. And this is the week before. Like, they don't even have time for the women's tag division. And I'm not like saying, oh my God, we need, you know, more women's tag wrestling or whatever. I'm just like, I'm trying to make sense of this. Because what the WWE was telling me last night is the WWE women's tag division, this is so long to say every time, but you guys know what I'm saying, is the shits. That's what they're saying.
It's the shits.
They said Dr. Huge, the WWE women's tag division is the shits.
It's the shits.
And I was just kind of blown away that they would just show the audience that all them chicks there, all that time they've been spending tagging up together, a team could get together, a super team, maybe even Lyra and Bailey. You got a champion in there, so that means they're not going to do anything with the women's Intercontinental title. Are they going to do something with the women's U.S. title that Chelsea Green has? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, there's so much wrestling going on in this coming week. By the way, reviews, previews here at the channel. Get them notifications. Click on them. YouTube is the place to be. Again, I just spent another $120-something getting X back up. Not for the check mark, so I can go live. All right, you nerds. Stop harassing me because I have a check mark. I get it, okay? I should have had one before. People were trying to be Dr. Huge 10 years ago on this platform. And I messaged them about it, and I asked for archives, and I asked for this and that, and they just ignored me. Then Elon took over, and it feels like I'm not shadow banned anymore, at least. But, what are we doing here, William? We're just talking wrestling. Who really cares about the women's tag team? That's why I'm getting it out of the way. And I just wanted to point out, WWE doesn't care about it either, apparently. So, could that be just gone altogether? Think about it. We got 3 more hours of SmackDown next week. You got NXT Saturday afternoon. You got WrestleMania night 1 after that. Then you got WrestleMania night 2. Then you get the roast after that. You got the Hall of Fame after SmackDown as well. Like, oh my God. Oh yeah, Priest, get off my screen. Been looking at you long enough. How about this guy? How about Cody Rhodes? What do you want to talk about?
What do we want to talk about?
Ooh, all right, let's talk about him because he came out last night as well. Let me get closer to him. I love that face. He's giving birth there. Food baby coming out, 3-pounder. Yeah. He comes out. Well, we already knew what was going to happen because they loaded the ring with all the old titles and even the spinner belt was up there. And Cody comes out and they're presenting Cody as he's now like the champion's champion. He's the company. He's the crowd's champion. He's everybody's champ, right? And let's go to the end first because he ends by like, I'm with them or I was something to that effect. And and they take a shot of the crowd and everything. And I'm thinking to myself, not me. I'm not with you, Cody Rhodes. I didn't ask for you. Okay. I think you're a top mid-card guy. Braun Breaker's better than you, bro. Sorry. Already, and he wasn't even in wrestling all that long. Hey, it's just my opinion, right? We can all have our opinions. Except mine's a little more educated. I've been around, all right? I've seen some things, heard some things, felt some things. And he brought it up again. Cody Rhodes was like, hey, I'm not authentic. I'm not genuine. But you know what? They like me, and I'm their champion. I'm the champion. And I was like, wow, that is a really bad response to being inauthentic and disingenuous. Look at me with the big words. Yep. So that's how I felt during the whole promo. And then the heavy breathing, before every word, it's like, because you're just doing the salesman pitch. So I don't buy it. I get it. You're the company guy that the crowd likes. Feels more organic than most, but I believe it's because, the crowd is mainly kids in the WWE that we all know. And also the younger generations. As time passes, everybody's slowly getting more stupid. That's how you say it, right? More stupid. So, yep. I wish I could laugh, Paladin. Very sad about all this. Cody Rhodes makes me want to go to sleep. When I heard he had a promo last night, I knew John Cena wasn't there. Because why would he want to go to Seattle? Does anybody want to go to Seattle other than Bryan Danielson? I think he's the only person I know that wants to go there. So, Cody Rhodes, he shows up instead. He's the man of the people. He'll go to Seattle and he'll bore them to death. And another takeaway, I wish I pulled a video. Or I should have just rewound it on the DVR last night, but I was lazy. I'm a hardcore analyst journalist, expert at these things, and I watch the crowd a lot. If something, I want to see what's getting over, if the people are into it or not. Okay, even if you are, a dumber crowd than you were 5 years ago, dumber than that 5, so on and so forth. But there was a woman. I don't know how old she was, but some kind of tweener like that, sitting behind the announce desk, and the announcers are blah, 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 blah. And I could see what she said. She basically like was kind of sideways talking to somebody, and she just goes, "Oh, that was okay." Like, we paid to come out here, and Cody Rhodes probably the biggest thing in the company, and he's gonna make an appearance here, and he does his promo, and I'm like, yeah, that's all right. She literally did one of those, like, that was all right. And it was like on to something else, and I was just laughing to myself. Could they be talking about something different than the Cody Rhodes promo that happened just 2 seconds? Like, they cut to the announcers, and I'm thinking she was talking about the promo. All right. And Sasha Reigns says the women's U.S. title makes me want to sleep. Oh my God, everybody's sleeping out here with these U.S. titles, and Cody Rhodes is champ. He can't stay champion, right, guys? He can't. This guy? You guys buying this? I know there are a lot of children that watch WWE. They're totally buying it. All right, good for you guys. This is your Hulkamania, I guess, if you want to look at it like that, because if he wins again, I mean, he's the Hulkster in my book, because he's over with the company and he's over with the people in general. It's hard to win everybody over these days, especially since the invention of this internet here. Very hard to get over with everybody. No, somebody who's just not going to like you because of the way you look, the way you sound, your mannerisms. This is pretty much everything that I'm talking about Cody Rhodes here. Mainly for me, you have to be authentic and you have to be genuine. You have to be a real person in the wrestling business. CM Punk comes to mind, right? Who's really more over than CM Punk? As old and as crusty as CM Punk is right now, he's still super over no matter where he goes. And why is that? Because he pretty much, even if you think he's a dipshit, speaks his mind, he says what he wants. That's what people like. We can tell nobody's, John Cena pointed this out, but I've been pointing it out for months prior to this. Nobody's perfect like this. Especially in pro wrestling, we're supposed to believe somebody's perfect like that. Not me. It's just, it's too much. Be more like this guy. Look at his face. He's in shock and awe of what just happened to him. Cody Rhodes, I mean, I appreciate the wrestling with the bum arm and all this. Half your body was purple. That was cool. Not saying you haven't done some cool things. I'm just saying, in this business where there's millions of wrestlers now, the wrestlers are starting to outnumber the humans on the planet. Pretty soon, everybody's going to be a wrestler and or podcaster, mainly wrestler, because they're all going to try it once. And you know how these crowds are out here. They don't get it. If you got go away heat, say like a Logan Paul, the kids don't care. They're going to boo him and put him over by booing him. It stinks. We don't want that. Were they booing? I'm trying to think back, because I didn't see a whole lot of the Arquette stuff, David Arquette in the WCW days. I know this is like ancient history, right? Yeah, there are a lot of podcasts that do this ancient history, but David Arquette won the title in WCW, and that's Logan Paul-ish. Even him getting close to the belt kind of irks me. And of course, David Arquette, not really a wrestler. He came back a few years ago, and remember he got involved with like GCW or something, or then a death match with somebody. But this inviting of the celebrity and influencer, just influencer or anything out here. What is it, Bret Hart?
It's the shits.
You can just tell it's bad. It's like bad for everybody on so many levels. We can get very deep with this. Just like I get with the LeBron stuff. This is more of a societal issue. And you're seeing like how people are like engaging in stupidity because the people at the top do it. Sasha Reigns, you got more to say here? I mean, don't get me wrong. Roman was better Universal champ. The big dog Roman Reigns or the Tribal Chief. Tribal Chief had one of the greatest runs ever because of the storyline. But this guy over here, are we going to really remember a whole lot of stuff about this title run, or is it going to be the beginning and the end? Because I'm willing to bet that we're going to remember, of course, all of last year's WrestleMania stuff, which was some of the best. The best build-up, The Rock was involved, and all this business. But how is he going to lose it now? He should. He's had it for a solid year. Let's give Cena the title. Let's turn him back to a good guy while he has the title. Faces The Rock, say SummerSlam. The Rock gets the title off a good guy Cena. That's the end of Cena ever getting near a belt. He has the record. Then Cody Rhodes has to get it back off The Rock and chase. But that still means Cody Rhodes is going to be around and he's going to be sucking air and doing pre-rehearsed speeches. You know, that's not what we do around here, Cody. Around the Dr. Huge studios, we don't pre-rehearse. We have no idea what we're going to say. You see? Tribal. Yes, Tribal Chief. Much better than the big dog. I mean, halfway through the whole big dog deal, I just went, you know what? I'm going to go with the audience or the non-smart side of the audience, and I'm just going to be all in on this big dog. It worked out in my favor. I did a poll. Remember, I'm not even kidding. The poll was 51% big dog, 49% no big dog.
Yeet! No yeets.
And Yeet won. I couldn't believe it. I thought for sure everybody was going to be like, no. We want you to continue to bash Roman Reigns. And then I lived up to it. I didn't bash him anymore after that. I was on his side. I'm like, we got to give him a chance now because he's not going anywhere. And thank God they gave him Paul Heyman, which we were asking for like years. And the rest is history. Thanks to Dr. Huge once again. You're welcome, everybody. So let's talk about this. What do we want to talk about?
What do we want to talk about?
Let's talk about Tony Hinchcliffe and this roast that they're supposedly doing. I can't even believe it's happening. I really can't. I know why Triple H and all these people are going to be into it. I think if it's a real roast, I wonder how real it will be. Even the TB12 roast was a roast. If you didn't like certain comedians here and there, I get it. Or their styles. But that was a real roast. What's going on, Sleaze?
Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you. You sound nice.
Yeah, the mic's working now.
Oh, yeah.
Got a green screen and not glitchy.
Looking good.
Thank you.
I'm talking about the Hinchcliffe stuff right now.
Oh,
so
God.
We have that roast after the second night of WrestleMania. And what do you think? Everybody's going to cry about it, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's going to be terrible. And he was so unfunny the other night. I'm not looking forward to this at all.
No. You saw the Tom Brady roast, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, I love roasts anyway, especially, but is this going to be a real roast?
It can't be. There's no way.
I can't believe it either. But it has to be. Like, how could you be Tony Hinchcliffe doing what you do, and you're going to bring all the comedians up, and you're going to work clean?
I don't know. It's one of those things. I'm just waiting to see.
Because, I mean, people are like freaking out even over the Puerto Rico statement. That's what all the kids are bringing up, because nobody knows anything about a lot of like people out here unless it's fucking, Taylor Swift or something. But he I mean, he's a roast comic. And yeah, I get the optics of it. He was at the Republican National Convention and talked shit on Puerto Rico, but okay. Like, are we gonna cry? We're gonna cry about all this stuff? Like,
who doesn't talk about Puerto Rico? Yeah, let's be honest. Come on.
Who's the wrestler, the big wrestler that got stabbed up over there?
Was it
Even the chat must know this. Bruiser Brody.
Bruiser Brody? Yeah.
Yep. Well, rest in peace, real quick. But I'm sure he doesn't want to go back to Puerto Rico. If you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. All right, RIP'd before that joke, so it's okay.
They're awfully stabby, very stabby over there.
Yeah. That's like, I always remember the Norm Macdonald West Side Story bit on SNL. And, they all start dancing. He's like, what the hell are you doing? You're dancing and singing. And they're like, yeah, we're getting ready. And he's like, what? You're singing and dancing? And he's like, oh, well, I got a song for you. It's while you guys were singing and dancing, I got stabbed in the head by a Puerto Rican. So, yeah, that's the kind of humor I'm looking for. And I think the roasts are super raunchy. They even got Tom Brady up out of his seat. Remember when they made fun of Robert Kraft for one joke? It's like, come on, he can't be there and take one joke, Tom.
Yeah, you know that shit was coming. Like, you don't get offended. Like, if they say they're going to do a roast on me, like, there's nothing I can get mad at.
Exactly. Yeah. But these people are like, even Joan Rivers was like, you can't talk about my daughter at the roast. And it's like,
God. Don't do a roast then.
Exactly.
Especially Joan Rivers, of all people.
And then, if they're working clean at this thing, it's just going to suck so bad.
Yeah. It's going to be terrible.
They're
going to do it.
No, I'm going to go with they're going to swear and they're going to talk about Paige jizzing on titles or whatever. And they should imagine. That's why they really need us there. If we sat down for a week and just came up with solid jokes for this thing, that we got all the information right here.
Yeah, we say it every week. Come on. Yep. John Cena eating babies.
He could eat babies. We'll bring a Robotronic John Cena out there and with Cabbage Patch dolls in his mouth or something. There's all kinds of things we can do.
Gonna have the Miz come out dressed as John Cena, do his whole bit. Be great.
But this also reminds me once again, another topic I was still talking about, the celebrities all up in my wrestling now, all up in the video, as Suge Knight used to say. But Burnt Chrysler was there this week. Taking his shirt off, and
that guy's so unfunny. That's why he has to take his shirt off when he does his stand-up. It distracts you from his bad sense of humor.
Yep, he stinks. I'm sorry. And the wheezing laugh that went into the squeal.
Ugh, and gross.
The stories where he lies about everything. Oh, this guy. So, yeah, he was on my TV screen a couple of times. And then I seen him online after choke slamming, I believe, Austin Theory, which is just so disrespectful. Or it could have been Grayson Waller, but it was one of them.
How much more are those two going to take from celebrities and everyone just beating the shit out of them till they go to AEW?
It could happen, of course. But I just don't see them giving up on Waller or Austin Theory. They're just going to keep them around forever until there's a spot to move up, and then they'll put them in one of them. They're both too good in the ring, and I think they're both awesome on the mic. I don't see what the issue is other than there's too many wrestlers.
Yeah, it's just way too deep. Yeah, they're both talented as hell.
Mm. Oh, also with this Burt Chrysler here. I know I'm saying his name wrong. I'm doing it on purpose. So before you start telling me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But the Mud Shark, I know nobody knows who he is. He's a Dabbleverse guy. Yes. And he had a story because the thing that's crazy about comedy is you could be driving 100 miles to make $20 tonight, or the same guy that was just in the same room with you a couple months ago is doing stadiums and arenas.
Yeah, right.
Or have a hit
Crazy.
sitcom. So, yeah, these two used to be on the road together or whatever. He got him for a show. And the story was, he was just telling this like last week. He's like, I flew into the city and I called a few people. We were going to meet up with all these girls and we were going to go to like a bar or something like that. And he told Chrysler about this. And Bert was like, no. You can't do that. You got to come to a movie with me. And he's like, I got to go to the movies with you. And he's like, because he just like didn't want to do it for whatever reason. He's like, yep, no, you're going to come to the movies with me. He's like, listen, I got you on this bill, so you pretty much have to do what I say. So he's like, he was all bummed out. He's like, I was going to go hang out with these chicks and I just flew in and now I have to go and watch a movie with Bernd Chrysler. Oh.
Now, what the hell was that about?
I believe
God,
the Mud Shark says he thinks that he was kind of throwing his weight around. Like, hey, you know, this is my gig. And I got you
Like,
into
literally.
this. So,
Yeah.
yep. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take your shirt off some more. It's hilarious. What do you think of that, Seth, every time he takes off his shirt? He loves it. He's like, yeah, titties.
Him and Otis all sweaty and fat, just hugging each other.
I got to go to one of his shows and just bring a sign that says, show your tits. That's another thing. The kids will never know anything about rock shows in that, like the 90s. I think that was like the last era, early 2000s, like very early. But you go to shows and they'd be like topless women everywhere.
There was on Raw.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Triple H was like, let's go. It was like that was the era of everybody going like this. They would even do it on the billboards. I would go to like stadium shows and you would see like guys going, all right, it's time. It's like, what is going on here? I'm at a rock show and all of a sudden it's like there's boobs everywhere.
Well, I forgot what radio station
Whip
that
It Out
was,
Wednesday.
around the Boston area. Yeah, Whip It Out Wednesday.
That was Mania and O&A there.
Yeah, that's right.
It's so crazy. This Kumia, he's doing WABC. He's doing AM radio now. Yep,
Oh,
gloating
Jesus.
about it. I see you out here, Kumia. I'm keeping up with you. All the kids don't know nothing about these people, but they were like the hottest. What do they call them? Shock jocks back in the day. So shocking.
jocks.
Everything they did.
Everything was shocking in the 90s.
I'll tell you, I'll
lot of
listen to
tits.
old Stern or the old O&A, and a lot of it's fucking cringe. A lot of it.
Oh, it is now, yeah.
The 2000s.
Back then, you were like, oh, this is something
Yeah.
new and all that. But now even some of the Attitude Era stuff, I've been watching it lately, and it's like, Jesus. It's like a lot of shit
Yeah.
they did.
And it leaked over for a while in this pro wrestling, like Vince McMahon. By the way, everybody out there, get retweeting, get sharing this, go on YouTube, watch it there, hit the like button, hit the notifications, hit the subscribe. We haven't had a subscriber since fucking Vietnam. So let's get hitting those buttons.
And he's dead now.
Brings me to Swerve and Booker T, because I've analyzed this story a little further. I was like, for the past like week or two, I'm like, I don't even really understand what they're fighting about, but it's, you know, the treatment of the black wrestler in WWE and how Booker T wasn't really an advocate for black wrestlers, and you know, that podcast that he did with Vlad, who I don't like, and I touched on this last week. I know who he is, and I know the type of people he interviews are generally street rappers and things like that, and he's known for getting them to talk, and then they put themselves in prison, you know, essentially, which is like insanity. But it's crazy that this guy is allowed to still be in one way or another. You know, you would think somebody would have had enough of that. But Swerve is on there, says all this about Booker T, And of course, Booker T retaliates. Really not a retaliation, more he's trying to be, you can tell he's trying to be the elder statesman by like, you know, you got to say these things to people's faces. We'll talk about it in person, whatever. And then it leads to Swerve after the pay-per-view this past week saying, fuck Booker T. Of course, everybody's going to be filming that. That was right at the end of the pay-per-view after he lost to Jason Voorhees. And now we're at the point where, you know, it's little hints here and there by Booker T posting like himself as the king, waving and things like that online. People on NXT recently were saying or chanting, fuck Swerve.
Yeah,
so now
Swerve.
That's a thing. Do you have like a dog in this race here?
I'm going to try to unify everybody. Can we just be wrestlers, not black wrestlers, Spanish wrestlers, white wrestlers, just wrestlers? Like this race thing is getting tired. Stop going to it.
Yeah.
That's my dog. It's swear like, oh God. He was so good for a while, and now he's just another one of those assholes that pops up online or says something stupid. And, you know, if Tony Khan was a real boss, he'd be like, guys, cut the shit. Like, stop doing that.
Yeah, because Booker T pointed out, you mentioned my name to close out your pay-per-view, and now everybody's going to be talking about that. That's what they're going to be remembering. You really think that was smart? And do you really think your Tony Khan likes that you did something like that? Probably.
I'm sure he does, because Tony Khan's retarded. But I mean, that's the way I took it too, is that's the way that you said thank you to the crowd and finished your pay-per-view. That sucked. That's the way you put a period at the end. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Grow up.
Unfortunately, I think that this is pretty much how it is now, Sleaze, because, you know, that's like something that we could do or would do, because that's our like business.
Yeah.
It makes sense to do it, but I think the world now is all about engagement farming, that they just want people to continue talking about something, and you have to assume that people are probably talking to Swerve going, you should probably, let's amp it up. If anything, everybody's going to talk about it. We are, you know, other people have been and will be, and maybe we can, if they're really smart, they have already talked Booker T and Swerve, and now they're working everybody, and they're going to make a shit ton of money off this. That's the wrestling way.
What I remember about Booker T is he, in real life, beat the shit out of Batista. Is this a guy you want to fuck with? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't fuck with Booker T in real life. Give me a fucking break.
Him and his brother are legit badasses.
Yeah.
I love always remember.
And a lot of people online are saying you couldn't say it to his face, though. You had to say it on TV. You know, so you make yourself look like a pussy. Really? He's a fucking legend.
Today's kids,
like, stop it.
Again, I'm telling you, it's all they love the image of something. It doesn't have to be real at all. But if you do something like what Swerve did at the end of the pay-per-view and say something like that, it's going to be split right in half almost. Not like as far as numbers, but just the way people are going to be either I hate that or I love that. And I think that's the thing now. That's how you get ahead in this. That's why I always talk about that movie Idiocracy. I'm telling you, there's so much truth in that movie. It's like scary. And
yeah, it's happening.
Really happening. What's up, Shades Cal? Yep. I see Shades Cal in all the chats out here. Comedy chats, sports chats, crazy. Yep. Big podcast person like me. Yep. We're killing it over here. You got to get interested in this wrestling just a little bit, at least for this week, because we got WrestleMania 2 nights. We got a roast comedy show after WrestleMania. We got Hall of Fame, NXT Saturday afternoon. Jeez, I'm going to be wrestled out by Monday. And then another 2.5 hours Monday I'm supposed to watch, really?
Oh, God.
So
it's got to be so much fucking wrestling. You know, you don't have to worry about AEW because they moved all their dates and shit.
That's right. They're avoiding them, huh?
Yeah. They're competition, though.
As they should. I mean, if you want to do good business, you can't be having any shows during any of that time. So did they move, like, No Collision is Saturday or anything like that?
I don't think so. I think they're doing it on, like, Thursday or something. Like, they're staying away from everything. The Hall of Fame, all of it.
Is
they're not doing a
Sting
damn thing.
doing the speech at the Hall of Fame?
I saw online that Tony Khan denied it. I don't know if that's true. So I guess they're going to go with DDP instead. I don't know how true that is, but I quickly saw that this morning.
Man.
In a douche move, you know.
You know.
Yeah, and Flair can't do anything either because he's still under AEW contract.
Oh, that's right.
So he put that out there too. So Tony Khan's being a total dick.
Yeah, Ric Flair. I seen him crying about it, right? Everybody's crying out here. He was crying about, I can't go away. Tony won't let me.
Yeah, terrible.
Bad timing, Rick. You know, he could have still been a part of WWE. They just wanted him to chill out for a little bit. And he's like, no, I want that money. The man, that's me. I'm the man, remember? And it was just like, yeah, all right. Thanks, Grandpa. And they kind of like pushed him out the door.
Don't trip down the stairs.
Do all
Be
this
careful.
shit and be under contract with AEW, he would be still collecting some kind of check or being called back for this.
Or a Legends contract, you know. They got a ton of those.
Wow.
That's too bad. I wanted to see Flair out there just doing something with the John Cena shit.
Right.
Great.
I thought something like that was going to happen, and that Tony Khan, he's ruining my wrestling worse than John Cena.
Yep.
So, do you see the Seth and Heyman promo from this past week?
Yeah, it was pretty intriguing. And now I got a prediction. I think Seth is going to align with Heyman. I think Heyman's going to go against both CM Punk and the OTC. Yep. I think that's going to be the swerve. No pun intended.
Yeah, we talked about it this past week, and then when it happened, I was like, they're listening again. 100%.
100%. They don't want to pay us, but they'll take all our fucking ideas.
I thought the best part about the promo is that he was out there in like jean bell bottoms with white cowboy boots. Like, what is that? Like, as far as the outfits, if you're going to wear wacky outfits, that's a good one.
I didn't mind that one, actually. And they went off the air, and CM Punk put on his jacket and started walking around the ring. That was
like he good. Wasn't dressed like an evil queen or something in a Disney movie. He was actually dressed kind of like a dude. But the bell bottoms as he's stomping heads, you know. I was like,
they're just flapping around.
Yeah. But he's going to get the favor, I think, too, because he didn't stomp on the Bullfrog Neck's head. And he said, now you owe me.
That was a good point to their good storytelling, too, because everything he said to Heyman was pretty much true. You know what I mean? And it was a really good.
Yeah, he was like, listen, where's Roman Reigns? Where is he when you got put through the table? By the Bloodline Part 2. You know, where's CM Punk? Yeah. CM Punk's never saved you from anything. And he's been around for years.
Right.
I thought you guys were best friends. That's why I'm like laughing to myself. In my Seth Rollins laugh, of course. They're showing CM Punk and Heyman, we're best friends and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just thinking to myself, Rollins just said he hasn't done shit for you. And he like, you could literally get run over by a truck or about to. Is CM Punk going to show up? Probably not.
Yeah.
So
I think they're going to solidify that point in the last week before Mania, that Paul Heyman he doesn't need either one of them, and he's going to side with Seth, which I think would be great. I think Heyman and Seth together would be fantastic. That's fucking funny.
That should definitely be the Monday night speech, and that's what I predict as well. At the end of the day, he's going to side with Seth. Seth hasn't had a win again since what? Korea. I think we're going way back now.
Yeah.
So
It's been a while. He needs to get back into the title picture.
Seth Rollins, let's go. Get those bell bottoms out.
Let's go.
Other news in the Seth Rollins world, his wife, the man, is wait, am I talking about Jimmy Norton? No. Seth Rollins, his wife, the man, she may not come back into wrestling ever again, Sleaze. What do you think of that?
Oh, shit.
You don't like that?
That just ruined my whole fucking year. I never been a big Becky Lynch fan. I think she's an overactor. She's an okay wrestler, but I could care.
You know, she is with the baby all the time now. So the baby growing up.
Yeah.
Everybody expects her to come back soon. Maybe they were thinking maybe at Mania or after. And this could all be a work too. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows? I could care. I haven't really thought about her. The only time I did is when she said something stupid about CM Punk on Twitter.
This definitely deserves some champagne popping though. So I got to order some champagne or something. When it becomes official, if it does, we're popping bottles in here like the 86 Celtics.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. They were good.
Party.
Did you see this picture?
Yes. That was fantastic. I saw that picture before I actually watched SmackDown. So it was even more funny when I watched SmackDown.
While he's getting the chain ripped off him, that's the face he's making. The best.
Yeah. Hey, this one's getting better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wasn't intrigued at first. I'm like, has no point, but it's drawing me in.
It's turned into a Las Vegas street fight. What's the difference between like a Philadelphia street fight and a Las Vegas street fight? Do you have anything?
Strippers.
That's right. Yeah, you take one and throw them at Priest or something.
Yep.
They use them as weapons.
4 or 5 of them. Yep. When they go backstage, they pop out, they get slammed into something.
That's how I would write it.
Yeah.
Then the Ninja Turtles would come out of the sewers or something. I'll write something in there. We'll make it really good.
Yeah.
Yep. Grayson.
They got to go into a casino, like a real casino where everybody's still playing and shit and just
it will happen.
Up. That's what
100%.
Yeah.
And Sasha Reigns wrote a little while ago, Grayson should host Mania, to be honest, with his Waller Effect show. That would be another good way to get more people involved with WrestleMania without giving them these long-ass matches or anything, because that's the whole point of this. That's why it's so 2 nights. I mean, come on. You got the SmackDown before, which they give to like the low card people. We got the Andre the Giant Battle Royale.
Oh, I forgot about
Sunday.
that. Yeah.
AKA
Jesus.
the You're About to Be Fired Battle Royale.
This is your last run, kid.
I'm laughing about it the other night because every time they show that, I'm like, wait a second. Baron Corbin won that. He's gone.
No hits.
Mojo Rawley won it. Remember that?
No hits.
Oh, yeah.
Matt Hardy.
No hits.
Who else won it? Cesaro.
No hits.
Yeah, it's everybody that got fired or left.
I would try not to win that. Even if they're like, listen, Dr. Huge, you're slated to win this and you got to go in there and you got to do this. When it come down to like me and like the last 2 people, I'd just like go, man, ooh, this baby oil. And I'd slip out. And go, I don't know, somebody greased up too much and I just accidentally fell off. And now you got to fire one of them now. Let them carry that big stupid trophy around. You know, you know, I get it. He's onto a giant. You want a real giant trophy, but you know, it's way too big. Okay,
that's your severance pay. Is that trophy? Good luck in your future endeavors.
So, what happened to the bloodline? You know, I know what happened, but I'm just kind of saying this, like, especially the bloodline and then the bloodline 2. Bloodline 2 is now mid-card SmackDown. And the bloodline 1 is non-existent.
You know what happened to him? Jacob Fatu. That's what happened to him. Hey, as soon as he started getting big, they were like, fuck the bloodline.
Yeah, so you think that's kind of what screwed up Solo?
I think so. Not in a direct way, but he just got so hot. Like Solo is nothing.
Yeah, I think he's got the match with Orton now from last night, but that's like getting scraps. Like, oh, somebody can't work, so we weren't going to do. They were probably going to get involved in the Fat 2 match, but now it seems like he's got his own thing. Hopefully that doesn't come to fruition, and we can do the Nick Aldis Randy Orton. That's what everybody wanted.
That's what I want. That's what I want bad. I don't know why I want this so badly, but it really enticed me that Nick Aldis might wrestle again against Randy Orton.
They could pull it off and actually put on a really good like old school style match. He was just wrestling in NWA like 5 years ago.
Yeah, and he's good. Mm-hmm. He's good. Yeah, that promo fucking was excellent last night. I really want it to go that way because who else is going to go against Orton that's going to make any kind of sense right now?
Yeah.
Nobody. Braun Strowman.
Maybe the Wyatts there, but we haven't seen them in forever, and it's just too quick of a build. We got 1 week.
Yeah. The Nick Aldis thing made sense, It was a quick way to like get somebody in there. It didn't have to be this long drawn out story. It was just you RKO'd me and I'm going to fuck you up.
But imagine being Solo and they actually went with Nick Aldis instead. I'd be like, oh, they really don't like me anymore,
What did Solo do backstage? Like, that's what it seems like. It seems like something
There was a story a couple months ago I brought up about, we were kind of speculating on it. Like, we don't know if this is real or not, but I was reading that that night he left the arena, like it was like he went out and then he was about to cut a promo and he didn't do anything. And he just dropped the mic, and then Jacob picked the mic up and he cut a promo instead while he walked off. And it felt like it was supposed to happen, but I heard people saying that was actually not what was supposed to happen, that Solo was supposed to cut a promo and he just didn't and was kind of pissy. And then we didn't see him for a few weeks.
Yeah. Maybe it's like a Triple H curtain call thing, where they're just slapping him on the dick right now. Because that's what it really seems like. It seems like something triggered somebody backstage to be like, all right, we're going to calm down. Well,
him losing the Tribal Chief title to Roman Reigns the first night of Netflix, and then it just nosedived from there.
Yeah, he plummeted.
And then what does Roman Reigns get out of it? He's a Tribal Chief and he's not around. Okay.
He's a Tribal Chief with no tribe.
Yeah, exactly.
So it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, which has also been pointed out by one of them guys, CM Punk or Rollins. But yeah, it makes all the sense in the world. Or how about this? How about in this triple threat match, maybe Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns team up on CM Punk towards the end and just go, you know what? Like, what are we doing?
I thought of that too. I thought they were going to do like a Shield reunion sort of deal. I don't know. That one's got me really interested. I really want to see where it goes. I think either way, it's got to be a nice swerve. I think CM Punk is coming out on the bottom here. I don't think he's coming out victorious.
Yeah, he just wants them to be in the WrestleMania main event, not win it. Just wants to get in the game.
Right. There's something up, and it's got me in.
Wait, would The Rock get involved in that at all? No. He might not even get involved in the Cody Rhodes stuff, which again, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. What was the point of him even doing what he did? And that's what everybody's saying online and in podcasts and everything. It's like, all right, we've had enough of The Rock. Him just showing up, screwing up stories, and then leaving. And it totally confuses everybody. It's gotten to that point. It's like, Triple H or fucking the Good Con has to like sit him down and be like, dude, like, knock it off.
Yeah, just stick backstage for a little bit. But how about this KO situation? He's got the neck injury now. He he knew Penta was going to have a package pile driver coming into. I remember hearing that somewhere, and he was like, he better not use it because that's going to be my thing. And again, I just find it super ironic that he's dropping everybody on their heads, and he's the one that had to get neck surgery. I hope it goes well for him. You know.
Yeah. It's bad karma. But I mean, the dude's been doing it for 20-something years, and he's been doing it hardcore. So, eventually he was gonna need something.
I'm telling you, it did not look fun what he was doing in that ladder match.
No.
He's taking bumps on the ladders sideways. You can't fake any of that, like at all. You can't roll out of it. You're just gonna land on it. It's gonna suck.
Yeah. You can't. Yeah. That's why it's sort of annoying. You have like common people who will say like, "Oh, wrestling's fake," and blah blah. It's not fake. It's scripted, but it's not fake. I mean, this guy's fucked up.
And then, of course, I think we talked about it before, but him arguing with the fan.
Yeah,
that was I love it. When I seen it back on a certain angle, you can tell he's that's what the wrestlers do. They can't touch anybody. You can pretty much say anything, and they can't touch it. And if they do, like lawsuits and things. But he's like, what are you saying? And I remember from the actual video from WWE watching it live, you could see the fan stick his head in. This bald white guy sticks his head in, and then he says it right in his face, and then he's like turns around again. He's like, "Fuck you." But I mean, you got to realize who the crowd is, Kevin. You can ignore some people. Who cares?
Yeah.
This stupid wrestling guy. Maybe he doesn't buy it. Maybe he really, no, it's real. I really gotta do who gives a shit what he thinks? But then again, Kevin has blocked me as well online. And what am I doing out here?
Yeah, well,
maybe he just hates bald people.
Yeah. That's it. We're on to it. If you have hair and you yell shit, he's not going to say anything.
How did I get Grillo interview? How do I know him? I got him on because I'm the fucking Dr. Huge over here. I've been doing this for a while. I've gotten DDP on, and then like a couple weeks later, Joe Rogan gets DDP on. He starts stealing my guests.
Yeah.
And Hansy from Howard Stern. I have Hansy on all the time. Mm-hmm.
Right.
He always tells me I can't do it. Maybe I can't do it. I maybe I won't do it. And then he always comes on.
Yeah. And he has a meltdown.
Towards the end, yeah. When I start like playing devil's advocate to things or saying that he might, give him another angle on something, he'll be like, no, I don't like this anymore. Like that.
I remember back in the day, he used to hate every take I had. Just every time I open my mouth, he's, nope, you're wrong. Nope.
Yep. We get all the superstars like Grillo and Hansy on Shades.
We had
What's
James
funny
Ellsworth,
too is I've asked Rob Saul to come on. I've asked Chad Zumach to come on the Mud Shark. I've asked some of these Dabbleverse people, and they like completely ignore me. They act like I don't exist. I'm guessing because I'm black and they're all racist, right?
And you're bald.
Well, they're all, but most of them are bald too. Probably somewhere.
Oh, that's why they hate themselves. So
hating balls.
Gotta hate you too.
Yep, but it's pretty easy to get in contact with anybody these days. Shades, we got the interwebs. I got the special check mark. Paid out the ass for it, and people see that check mark and they go, "Yep, got to go on this show." If I want to plug something.
Certified.
Mm-hmm. And I actually plug things, unlike a lot of people, other places. They just fucking, they want all your social security and where you live and all this stuff. And then they don't even plug your stuff. Look, I'm going to plug it right now if I can find it. Look at that. Look at how green he is. And he gave it to me. He put a song on here that's like, if I ever played it, the YouTube police would come and like lock me up for life.
Yeah.
But
can't do that.
So he's got a book, and that's why he came on. And usually if somebody's got something to hawk, they're much easier to get. And he was easy to actually work out, do you want to come on? What day? What time? Boom, boom, boom. Done. That doesn't usually happen with anybody. And I've noticed the lower on the rung you are of being known, like the more of a superstar you act like, where you're just like, oh, maybe I'm going to do it. Maybe I won't, Oh, I don't know what I can't make it that time. How about, and I'll like be like, how about Sunday through Saturday, anytime? And they'll be like, I don't know if I got time for that. I'm like, all right, fuck off.
Yeah.
And then you got
trying to help you more than anything.
I'm doing the show anyway, And then you got the people that are like, well, I'll take this much money or whatever. And it's like, I'm not paying you. What do you think this is? Paying people to come on my show. I didn't pay DDP. I didn't pay Thunder Rose. I didn't pay like all the wrestlers these people know to come on.
James Ellsworth. We didn't pay him.
No way. I've had what's his name? Because he's being called out all over the place. There's a million videos about this online the past few months. Just incredible. He's been scamming everybody lately. Yeah. And I knew about this too. I remember at the time I was going to ask him to come on the podcast. And I talked to Phil from Sports World. And he told me this whole story. He's like, oh, just incredible. He's like, that fucker screwed me over like $1,000 or whatever. He was going to pay him to come in and sign autographs at the store and whatever. And he goes, he totally just scammed me. And I remember this is like 2014, 15, around there. And then I was like, oh, let's see if I can get him on. And I sent him a thing. You want to come on the show, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I'm going to need at least $20 and send me $20 and I'll come on the show. And I'm like, yeah, okay, buddy. I can't do the fingers with the pen in the hand. You okay? Yeah, I'll do that. I'll send you $20. Like, I don't know that you're just going to take the $20 and I'll never hear from you again. And then for years, he's been doing this to Grimm's Toy Show. Is that the name? Where he's got the backyard wrestling stuff. And he was supposed to show up there. He's supposed to show up all different types of places. And he just literally takes people's money and then doesn't do the job.
How hard up are you to come on a show for $20?
It's crazy. And he went on the Maven podcast there and pretty much says word for word what I said. Like, yeah, I just took this guy's money and I didn't do the job because, my family's got to eat and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, what are you talking about? Don't take the money then. He's all fat now too.
He's fat. Yeah, scumbag. Some of these guys are fucking losers. They really are. $20. Give me a break.
But I'm going to pay him $20. He's going to come on for an hour and talk. And I'm like, it's just crazy when you know that it's a scam even before. And I'm just like, I just shook my head. I didn't even answer back. I'm like, we're not doing this.
Yeah, no.
I should have let him on.
No.
Try to make a story out of it. I will next time. Anybody tries to fuck with me like that, I'm just going to lead him on and go, yep. Where's the Venmo? Where's the this? Where's the that? And then we'll like goof on it online. Do a whole bit about it or something. Well, we'll figure it out. But yeah. So yes, Shades, I get all the celebrities. $20. It's easy.
He pays me $20 once a week to come on.
So this Carl Anderson, he had a quote online. Did you see that post? Sticking on this KO subject for a little longer. And he was like, well, hopefully the WWE doesn't just, fire him after he came back from neck surgery and this and that. I'm like, I get what that is. That's more bitterness. That feels more like that Swerve Strickland, bitterness type thing. So.
Yeah, it's exactly what it was. And then he was talking shit about The Rock and he ruined the culture and the behind the scenes and all. They're like, dude, just shut up. Like, who is Carl?
Yeah. But there may be some truth in that because I remember even MVP leaving and saying it was because of Triple H. He's like, the new regime, basically. He's like, those aren't my guys. And we just weren't going to get along there. So maybe it had something to do with that too. But then again, these guys are Triple H guys, aren't they?
Yeah. MVP, no. He's
Well,
been
no, I
around
mean,
for-
but the Good Brothers.
yeah. They,
Yeah.
as far as I know, Triple H was always pushing for them.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. I don't understand the shit talking from Carl Anderson, a guy with his partner that was getting paid not to be on TV for a long time.
Yep.
Whatever. Go back to New Japan or AEW.
And do you expect Kevin Owens to come back?
I do.
Yeah.
I don't think he's done. And the neck surgery the surgery he's getting, it's nothing like really dramatic. It's a pretty common thing. So
Like we've said, the Edge and Bryan Danielson, they've all come back.
yeah, Stone Cold.
Yep. God, Stone Cold, them knees. My God. And I think, didn't he just have surgery on his hips or his knees again or something like that?
I don't know what it was, but yeah, I think he just had surgery.
God, that sucks.
You get to a certain point, if you do this shit for years, you're just continuously getting surgeries. I mean, Hogan's had like 45 surgeries just from him falling on his ass when he does his leg drop.
I remember he showed his back on Stern and it was like open. You could see the metal coming through the back. And that was like the mid 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
So I can imagine now it's like he probably has a full RoboCop back.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't. He has no movement. He's just like a robot when he walks now.
Yeah.
Because he's got
Kurt
so much
Angle,
steel.
too, that's always been sad to me.
Oh, yeah.
Is how you just, he's even when he was wrestling towards the end, it's like, stop. Because he's just.
Yeah. That's the price you pay, though. I mean.
Yeah. Oh, here's a story. Did you see the timeless Tony Storm after the pay-per-view with Tony Khan sitting next to her and screaming, reading the jizz and crumb and what else? Then cocks and, tits. And she's saying all these words and Tony Khan's like almost spitting his water out.
Yeah. He is so fucking fake. Oh, they had a montage of just his faces when people are asking him questions where he's just like, and and Tony Storm, God, when she came back as Timeless, it was so good. And then just like fucking Solo, it just went into the fucking shitter.
Yeah.
Like it's so unwatchable. I had such high hopes for that.
She's such like a Naked Gun type character. She's so it's such slapstick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's bad.
And
Very
I don't
bad.
know that people have been debating, the whole the swearing thing. But to me, what like white lady comedian doesn't just usually go up there and say things like that? They all do. They're like they go up there and go blowjobs and cocksuckers. Like, okay, like where's the joke?
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of female, there's some that are funny out there, but a lot of female comedians, they go to that. It's tits, ass. Oh, I was fucking a dude
another guy
night.
the other day.
Yeah, I was giving a blowjob. Like, all right, we get it.
My pussy stinks. I've heard all these things from stand-up comedian females.
I took a shit.
Yeah. Like they're all Andrew Dice Clay all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Then he shot loads all over my face. Look, like my face was melting.
Yeah, Tony Storm doesn't need that. She's talented enough without the I'm gonna rip your tits off, and it makes me chuckle, but it's like, come on.
Yeah, I got some more for you, Tony, if you need some help here. Doing some promos. Come out and say it's gonna look like a lemon meringue pie hit my face with this Dr. Huge around. You understand what I'm saying? Well, it's gonna look like my teeth are melting. Oh. I'm trying to think of some more Dice jokes. And then I had my tongue up her ace. You have this long pause and then you just start off a joke. And then I had my tongue somewhere.
Bad.
Yep. So, congratulations, Tony Storm. You really, I'm telling you, it didn't look to me that it was a put on thing by Tony Khan when he was all offended by all this. That was a natural reaction, I think, to like, what is this? And she was reading like a poem. And I think I read somewhere, don't hold me to this, anybody. It's not a fact. But that indie wrestler, what's his name? Effie or something like that. One of these guys wrote it for her and she read it. And it, it was classless, not timeless.
Classless.
The classless Tony Storm. That's what we're going to call her here now.
Oh, they're so fucking amateur over there. It's, you want to laugh because it's so bad, but it's so bad you don't laugh. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking terrible.
I want her out going out there next week, talking about BBCs and baby arms and all kinds of stuff. Looks like a baby arm holding an apple. Oh, the classless Tony Storm. Tits.
Tits.
She's randomly just goes, tits.
I know. It's, what are you doing? Is she drunk? Like,
she should run for president if that's the case.
Someone's cutting a promo on her. She just goes, tits.
Yeah. Oh. Then smokes one of the long cigarettes in those tubes.
Yeah.
Behind the head.
Oh, God.
I think we got a whole new gimmick for her. She can it's going to be a mix of all what she's doing, and we're going to modernize it. That's what they're going for, right?
Right.
Then she can give out some package pile drivers to all the other lady wrestlers, and they can come in wearing the halos.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
She could put out her cigarettes on their little things.
She could beat them with wire hangers.
Yeah. Let's mix it up a little bit. So there you go, Tony. Welcome again. We're rating everything, all their stuff in the future. How about this Jey Uso stuff? The Yeetmeister, as Cole called him one night. I'm like this. When he said that, I'm like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah, what?
The Yeetmeister. That snapped me right out of reality. I was like, oh, that's right. That's right. I'm an idiot. So the Yeetmeister is taking on Gunther at WrestleMania. We all know this. He won the Royal Rumble. Crazy enough, especially when he was in there at the end with all the legends. But that's Gunther. He's looking all worried now because Jey Uso came into the ring and he was almost about to cry. That whole thing he does. And the pacing and he's like, I'm going to... Yeah, and he's going to be all mad now, Oos, because I'm going to beat you up and they're going to be sad. And then Gunther's like, oh, shit. And I'm like, this is so unbelievable. I understand what they were trying to do with the story, but it's almost like they didn't need this part. They should have ended it with Jimmy Uso getting choked out all bloody and stuff. That's how it should have ended going into the match. Doing this to be like, oh, no, Jay, now he really doesn't care. Like, we could have figured that out in maybe a promo or two, like leading up backstage or going into the match or something. This kind of just was a nothing to me.
I liked the physical promo. I liked the way that Jay did it because it was better than any promo he's done in a long time. I like that part. But yes, I do agree. They should have left it at the bloody fucking Jimmy in the ring and da-da-da. And he proves it in the match. He didn't have to come out and say, hey,
Yeah.
So I'm like a 50-50 with it. I like the actual written promo that he did, the way he did it, all that stuff. I think that part was good. I don't know. I'm into this match. I am now. I wasn't before, but it's growing on me, I should say.
It started good. I remember it started really good. Then it got flat.
Yeah.
And the bloody thing with the brother was good.
Right.
And this just seemed like more of the stuff that was in the middle from before. Like I said, it just didn't seem necessary. Like the whole bit about him being scared. I'm scared. It's like that's the Rocky thing that we were talking about that Sammy did. And also the Don and NXT did the same bit about Obafemi all within the past year. So now we're doing the Rocky bit of they're scared of their opponent, but now he's not scared anymore. You're a grown-ass man that has been wrestling people for 20 years or whatever. Yeah. Like, you're scared of anybody? Like we're not supposed to ever believe that. So all that eating stuff before, you was scared of Gunther? Okay.
Yeah, and it's a like you said, it's a story that's been told. I hate that they're recycling a lot of stuff over and over and over again. And it seems, just like you said, in AEW, they're stealing from one another too. So it's like you see it on one show and then you see it on another show. Then 2 months later, you see it on another show. It's like, okay, can we stop with the Rocky shit?
Yeah.
It was a good, bad fucking gimmick.
Yep. At least have somebody named Adrian there for him to say it to.
Right.
Something.
Jesus.
And NXT was actually really good this week.
Yeah, it was.
Like except I missed the very beginning, and that's where the botch was. There's always botching in NXT because it's like the minor leagues in a way.
Right.
But I guess Jordan Grace did a jump out the ring, and she got hung up on the ropes, and they instantly go right into a nosedive. Yeah. I don't know. Just stop doing it. How about that, everybody?
I was thinking the same thing, and people are online killing this thing for like 2 or 3 days, and it's like, just stop doing the move because only a select few, I guess, can do it. And even the select few that, like Jey Uso, he could do it 1,000,000 times. He fucked up.
Yep.
Like it seems like an epidemic, and that spot is just old. I'm getting sick of that. I'm going to bounce off the ropes and jump over, and it's old. Super
old. It's done almost every match too.
Yeah.
And the only ones that really pull it off and make it look good, especially the in between the rope jumps, is like Io Sky because she's small.
Yeah. But not everybody has to do it.
Yes.
Jordan Grace doesn't have to do it. No. That's not the type of wrestler she is. Yeah, so I don't understand.
Ball of muscle, and she looks like a power lifter, and she's gonna go out there and do luchador things.
Yeah, you didn't see Scott Steiner doing that. Come on.
Yeah, do maybe a Frankenstein or something. That makes sense.
Right.
But that was the only thing that I saw that was wrong. Like every match, people that maybe others have never even heard of before or whatever, they Fraxium took on Swipe Right. Swipe Right are these a new tag team from Evolve, which I don't watch on Wednesday nights. But who knows? Maybe I'll start watching these because these guys, they remind me of like a Pretty Deadly. They're the Pretty Boys, that whole gimmick, and they're good. Like they get it. And
they're real good.
They put them up with Fraxium, so they both get it. You had a banger of a match there. Then Sol Ruka and Jasmine Nix had a match, and Jasmine Nix is a third wheel on a team with 2 other girls. And she's just starting to get going here, and she had a good match with Sol Ruka. And then Sol Ruka, I'm telling you, is the next Tiffany Stratton. I've been telling everybody that for a while. She's going to be $1 million trillion bucks.
Oh yeah,
it's to the main roster.
Oh yeah.
And then the new group, Dark State, actually had a match with Obafemi, Javon, the Young OG, and Trick, and it looked good. Especially the black dude in that group. He was in the ring most of the time, and the bumps and everything, the whole like the match of it, like NXT this past week. If you want like just a solid ass wrestling show, this was the one.
Yeah, agreed.
Another funny thing about this Dark, what do they call themselves? Dark State group. There's 4 of them, and there's a taller white dude in it. And I'm like, who is this guy? I've seen him. I'm like, oh yeah, LFG. He's the guy on Bubba Ray Dudley's team, I think, that replaced the short annoying kid.
Yeah.
So he's already like in the mix, which is funny to me because, this LFG stuff, I don't mind. I get it's reality TV and they're faking it up a lot of things and trying to get things to happen for the cameras. But putting him in place of the guy that got hurt earlier on in the season and then showing him off on NXT simultaneously, it's like, so a lot of the people you even have in the LFG show aren't your best talent that you have at the Performance Center. And that doesn't compute to Dr. Huge. Why would you do that?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all.
So, and that leads me to, I don't think LFG, it's a decent show. I've been watching it for a while now, but it's no Tough Enough. Tough Enough was way better than this LFG show. Way better.
Yeah, it's more showcasing the fucking legends, like talking shit. It's
and it's you could tell it's all staged.
yeah, absolutely. It's just it's not Tough Enough. Tough Enough back in the day was fantastic and it was competitive, and this is no Tough Enough. I don't know why they just didn't bring back Tough Enough with that format.
Mm-hmm. I would keep just keep the coaches basic, like for whoever it is. Like you don't have to have the Undertaker in there. I think that's like unnecessary.
Yeah, it's overkill. It is.
Because then we get to learn that the Undertaker is really just kind of boring.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, who's the star in that show? It's Bubba Dudley.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Keep him, and then have some. Maybe not even wrestlers. I don't know. Have like
Booker T was in Tough Enough. I think he should stay because he was good in Tough Enough too as one of the coaches, and that makes sense to have him. I'm saying if it was like if they were gonna do it anyway, even if they were like just a kind of a jobber wrestler known to many, but he was like a coach in real life, like keep these people in. Just do Tough Enough. Why are you doing this new format? Sucks.
Yeah, not good.
And they're just showing too much, in my opinion, to the point where I even thought about it last night. I'm watching SmackDown, and Tiffy wrestled Roxanne, and they get into some weird situation where they're botching shit and stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, it just reminded me of LFG. And I'm like, they're showing you how the sausage is made over here. So now, like, everything that happens on the main roster on TV, if you're watching all these shows, you're like going to be nitpicking more than ever because you're like, well, they're the professionals and they're not even doing this shit right. I just watched the LFG over here where they didn't even botch one move and they've been in the wrestling business for a month.
That's why back in the day when we used to watch wrestling, in high school and shit, if somebody fucked up, it wasn't so obvious. I hate to say it, shows like Tough Enough and this LFG, those types of things and behind the scenes stuff that's making people online nitpick all the shit, like you just said. It's because what's supposed to happen. And even if it deviates a little bit, you're like, oh my God, like I got to go on Twitter and I got to, fucking,
And the crowd's like, you fucked up.
Yeah, you fucked up.
Again, last night, the Lyra Bailey gauntlet thing, they went up against Shayna and Zoe, and Shayna picked Lyra up, and she's a little chick, and just the way she picked her up and she was about to give her a suplex, I'm like, this ain't good. I literally winced before she even went to do the move because I'm like, she's not sitting right there, and she dumped her right on her head.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like, any which way, like, that could be it.
Yeah.
But it was that close. She would landed and they're like, oh, she landed on the back of her head. Oh, no. They always say that. But it's like, nah, she pretty much landed on her head.
Well, it's even back in the day, there was, I forgot what wrestler, but he pulled the curtain and was telling like the cues, like hand cues, feet cues, like little nods that they'll do. Yeah. And now you notice that once you have that knowledge, you notice it constantly. You know what I mean? Like when a ref goes over and, sees if you're okay, he's giving you something, you know what I mean? Or you're giving him something, or, they had this thing with Roman. I think it was during the Rumble where he was about to get, I don't know what it was, about to get thrown out or something was going to happen. He did this little thing with his foot where he just like pivoted his foot. And that was the cue to whoever was going to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like once you start knowing these cues and these little nods and shit, when something's going to get fucked.
And I don't really want to know this stuff. Really don't,
No, not really.
And I think the 3 matches or whatever they have on the LFG show, it's just too much. It's too much wrestling. We're already watching 1,000 hours of wrestling a week. Do we need to watch amateurs that aren't even evolve yet? Really, like, wrestle on TV? Like, come on.
That's why I've seen one full episode and I said, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get it. That's it. I don't have to watch more wrestling,
Yeah. I don't know. Just some suggestions there, LFG. Keep Bubba. Get rid of the Undertaker. I mean, he's just not necessary.
Well, they're not now because his wife's in there.
Yeah. She's going to take over for Mickey James.
Right.
And Booker T's fine. He can stay too. But
I like Booker T in anything. So yeah, anything he's in is great.
There's one girl on there. She seems so green. And I don't know. She kind of looks like an Italian chick. But anyway, just for a frame of reference for people that know who I'm talking about. She was going to do the flip, the Molly Holly flip. And I'm thinking to myself, so you're going to try one of the hardest like moves off the top turnbuckle as like your finisher and during finisher week or whatever they were calling it. And you're green as fuck, but that's going to be, I'm like, this is, everything about this show is so like phony. You know that they played it up for this. Of course she did it correctly. All right. She did it. She pulled it off. She's a cheerleader or a gymnast or something like that. But, it just, a lot of this show doesn't make any sense. And you know me, I like to make sense even out of this. If it's going to be foolishness, wrestling things, I don't care. I want it to make sense.
Yeah. I can't imagine it lasts long. It's maybe got another season, and I don't see it going beyond that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how long it will go. Because again, they had a couple tough enoughs, and I think they brought it back 3 times overall.
Yeah.
2 times quickly, and then they had one in like 2013 or something, right?
I think so.
The Mandy Rose one. But she didn't even win.
Yeah. Go figure.
That's usually how it works. Did you see the Flair stuff? The contract. Oh wait, no. Not the contract. The what am I reading here? Yeah, we already talked about that. Fuck out of here. Ric Flair can't do shit. Tony owns his soul.
Yeah.
We got the other Flair, Charlotte Flair from last night, who attacked Tiffy after her match with Roxanne and was going off on her. And did you see the end with when Wade Barrett got involved and stepped in front of Charlotte Flair? So she threw her a few different places and then picked her up again and threw her over the announcer's desk. And then she was going to go back there and do more damage. And Wade Barrett stepped in front of her and was like, you're going to lose your job and you're going to do, this is going to happen. And to be honest, I don't know if it's a work or not. I hope it wasn't.
Yeah, I hope it wasn't either. It looked pretty real. Charlotte looked actually like really pissed off, and she was doing a lot of ghetto like hand gestures and shit. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
I mean, we all knew she was going to be mad, and the next time she would get her hands on her, she's doing that old school wrestling stuff. Remember when Ronda Rousey got her hands on Becky Lynch after Becky Lynch was talking all that shit online?
Oh, yeah.
And they told her, like, you can't punch her in the face, but you can punch her in the ribs a bunch. And she did.
I don't know what's worse from Ronda Rousey,
Yeah. But, Charlotte, I'm going to go with this is real. Let's say it's real because it's more fun that way, especially. But she comes out there. She's attacked. Like I said, she threw her into 2 different things, I believe. And then she threw her over the desk, which could have been planned. That might have been the spot that wasn't planned. And then when she went to do more, Wade Barrett was like, you know what? I'm going to step in here and make sure you're not going to fuck this up. Because WrestleMania is in the corner.
Just like I was saying last week, this is showing how fragile Charlotte Flair is if this is real. You got to be a professional.
Yep.
And if this is real, it's not a good look at all.
Because would it surprise you if she flew off the handle and is like, how dare this rookie or whatever is going to treat me like this, and doesn't she know who I am? And that's what it feels like.
Yeah, she's throwing that out there to everybody. And it's like, dude.
So
I'm waiting for a spot during the match that Tiffany Stratton fucking just cold cocks her.
Yeah.
Because Tiffany's bitch.
She's not little. She's thick.
Mm-hmm.
She's got some muscles compared to the Charlotte Flair. I know Charlotte's gotten lighter because of the knee issues and this and that, but yeah, I wouldn't piss her off too much.
Yeah.
I think the voice is fooling her.
Yeah. It's going to get to woman. That's what it's going to get to. I don't know.
Will it end up in a shoot, you think?
I hope so. I really do.
It'll be the best.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is it will end up in a shoot if if Tiffany gets into it. I think it's going to happen with Charlotte. It's whether Tiffy allows it or not. She might be still new enough where she's like, listen, I'm not trying to fight with one of the top people in the business on the biggest stage. This could derail her career, politically and otherwise, if things don't work out with WWE. But I don't know. It's a tricky spot for Tiffy to be in. Hopefully WWE is reinforcing her and being like, listen, you're, if she goes at you, just go at her. That's it.
Yeah, punch her in the face.
Handle the business.
Yeah. It is. It's a tight situation because that Charlotte is, behind the scenes is, like a god to that division. So I could see Tiffy thinking that, I'm just going to take the shit. I'm going to take my lumps. But that's shitty. That's shitty on Charlotte's fucking part.
Yeah. Again, everybody, get subscribe and get sharing. Go to YouTube, hit the notifications. We're here every Saturday, 3 p.m. And we got all the clips up. Got a bunch of brand new clips up on the YouTube. We got shorts. We have, of course, these lives, podcasts even. If you just like to listen to the audio versions of all these, all edited and things. Well, not really edited too much, just enough to cut out certain dead spots. So, yeah, go check all that stuff out. Again, go check out the store. We've been selling merch over here lately. I sold a pillow. We sold a couple mugs, a t-shirt, all in the past week. Killing it. That's right. I'm going to be in Forbes magazine soon. How about this Kylie Ray's story, the indie lady wrestler? She had written online that you shouldn't criticize wrestlers if you've never stepped in a ring. I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially what she said. What do you think about that, Sleaze?
In this day and age, come on. Everybody's going to criticize. Yeah. I mean, it is true. We say it and things like that, but I've never been in a ring. You know what I mean? I couldn't do it any better than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I equate it to like, I don't know, people that go online and they complain about it and shit like that. It's like me going to your job and like picking on everything you do. Like, do you do everything great at your job? Like, fuck off.
See, I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind her writing that and thinking that, but I just don't agree because it's just everything's criticized, especially nowadays. You got there's podcasts like this that criticize things, and then there are podcasts that criticize things.
Yeah.
So it's like it literally goes. It's like a hologram at this point. Everybody's criticizing everything, whether they know something about it or not. We just happen to know about it, and I don't think that doing something like I bring this up every week almost. Is wrestling rocket science? You're a chick and you can do it. Pretty sure I can do it. That's all I got to say about that. It's not trying to be misogynistic or whatever. It's an athletic thing. And if you can move around, you can jump around, you can do it. If you don't have two left feet or a total idiot. So I don't really think it's all that special. Same with who doesn't play basketball at some point in their life? You mean to tell me you can't criticize something? You don't know the game? If you haven't played at the highest level? That sounds stupid.
This entire world is full of criticism. Everybody's going to criticize everything,
I love the sports guys. They would always go on the sports shows. Well, you haven't played in the NFL and you haven't played in the NBA. I don't have to.
Yeah.
It's a fucking kids game, and I get it. It's not. I could see like if a brain surgeon's been like, you've never been in actually doing surgery on a patient's brain. I'd be like, okay, well, you got me there.
I'm not going to criticize you there.
To put a ball through a cylinder, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
We've all done it. Okay, we get what you're trying to do, and then when we see you fuck up at it, you get to know about it.
Right. It's constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it can be,
we criticize, and then they take our ideas or they change shit. So we're doing God's work.
I'm going to criticize Mick Foley right now for cracking up his car, which is making me think of the theme song right away when I'm reading the tweet. That's how his song starts. I mean,
yeah,
who could have figured this was going to happen? Another ironic thing, just like the Kevin Owens next situation. Very ironic.
Imagine being a fan and you hit Mick Foley and he gets out of the car.
Yeah.
What are the fucking odds?
Like, he's not going to feel pain.
Yeah.
Damn it. So I'm glad to see you're doing well, Mick Foley. Yeah.
You can't feel a goddamn thing. So he probably broke like 4 bones. Doesn't even know it.
There's no did you see the picture of the car? It's all fucked up.
Oh, it was fucked up. Yeah.
And of course he'd be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He jumped like 30 feet onto a fucking table. Give me a break.
That's how he should show up to WrestleMania this year. They'll just build the stage big enough. He drives a car down and just flips it all the way
All gets out.
And the crowd roars. Yeah.
That
would be
awesome. Good idea.
Mm-hmm. We'll save it for when he's 80.
Yeah. That's how he dies.
We'll have him jump off the cage again.
God.
Yeah, what else we got here? Do I want to talk about that? Not really. Oh, there's a whole page over here. Oh, my God.
Jeez.
Look at all these pages.
Analyzing.
How did I get all this stuff? Ray Phoenix took on Berto last night. Berto's good. We've been talking about Berto and Angel Garza and Escobar and all them. Tons of Latinos on the main roster. Seems like they're actually doing something with them all now and trying to build a story with it. Before, they were just there. There was no story. It was just them versus the LWO for years. It was Latino on Latino violence for the past several years. Now they're finally starting to get somewhere, even though it's still Latino on Latino violence. And now Andrade's getting involved. Yeah, do something with this. What are we doing? They're all good wrestlers, and they just need some time on the screen. What, does everybody need a mask?
They have the money. They need to buy the rights to Lucha Underground and restart that fucking show.
Yes.
They have enough talent, and I think bring back some of the producers that did a great job with the cinematic shit. I think that would be a good idea.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even think about that, but they should. They buy up everything. They love buying things, this WWE.
Yep. Buy up their old catalog, put it on Netflix. Fantastic.
Yeah, they had a ton of stars now that were on there. Thunder Rosa was on there. Penta. Ray Phoenix.
Mysterio too, right? Was he?
Was he? Maybe in one of the seasons. I didn't see all of them.
No.
But Ezekiel said he was coming back into the business. Remember him? That huge black dude?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that Ray Phoenix match with Berto was a banger. That was one of the good things from last night. And I've seen it coming. But fine, they got to do something with the Berto kid because he's super good in the ring. And he looks like he could be a male model or something. If they don't do something with him, that's kind of stupid.
Oh, yeah, he's money. He's
one of the guys you definitely don't want AEW getting, just like Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Them guys, you kind of just need to hold on to them forever because they're too good, even though you got too many wrestlers.
Oh, those two, just to, mix it up a little bit, you could send them to the Lucha Underground TV show.
Yeah. Yep.
They'd be huge.
The annoying Americans.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, one of them's American. The other one drinks out of a shoe. And last night, the end of the night there, it was LA Knight and the RKO versus the Bloodline 2. Again, the Bloodline Part 2, to me, are in shambles. Just like the Bloodline 1. But they're just now stuck in the mid-card. You got Jacob Fatu running in at the end of the match, and they're all beating up Orton and LA Knight, and it's just everything you would expect. It was kind of boring.
Yeah. It was a bad finish. Can you imagine Solo is not in a WrestleMania match? You know what I mean? It's bad.
Yeah. Well, as of yet, you still got one more week.
Well, yeah, they keep throwing these fucking matches out.
And then Jacob Fatu, the only good thing that came out of the end of the night that is memorable is he took LA Knight's title and licked it. Gave it a nice slow lick.
Yeah. Everything Jacob does is just great. It's great. I can see why they're big on him. He's fantastic. Who licks the title? Come on.
Yeah. It's great. Well, maybe Paige does after. Well, I'm not.
Yeah.
Anyway, so AEW Collision is in Springfield, Mass tonight. That's right around us.
Yeah.
So Springfield's like the hood now.
Yeah, that's a shithole. Last time I went was with Justin to Six Flags. And yeah, it was a dump.
They had the Basketball Hall of Fame there too.
Yeah.
But,
Been there, actually.
I always hear how bad it is these days.
Yeah. Not good.
That might be it. That might be all I got for this week. This was a pretty boring week compared to last week.
I was saying the same thing as I was driving up to New Hampshire. I'm like, what the fuck am I talking about this week?
Yeah. And if you have videos, just send them or post them up on your Twitter, and I can get them easier from the Twitters.
Okay.
So I can do it because when it comes to my phone, then I have to link it. I have to either email it to my site. It's a whole thing.
Okay.
But what else do I have here? Everybody, get subscribing. Go to YouTube. I just bought X again so I can live stream on here. So definitely support the show. I'm using the money to stay live so far. Go buy some merch. That would be nice. That's one way to help. You can buy the album. I'm going to add more t-shirts. If you have t-shirt ideas, Sleaze, or anybody out here, if you give them to me.
Well, I have an announcement. I'm currently working on some products myself.
Nice.
So, coming soon. Get a Sleaze shirt, Sleaze hat.
My goodness. Be all sleazed out for WrestleMania.
All sleazed out.
So, yes, everybody, support the show. Want to keep us around. That's how you do it. And that's really all I got for everybody. So, until next week, or who knows, maybe I'll show up randomly during the week with like a Grillo out here or something. Everybody's they're amazed. Shades is just like, how'd you do it? How'd you get the Grillo interview? He's so big. He was just on AM radio with Kumia. He's so big. Right? Hard to do, but I did it. Paladin got a shirt coming. Shout out to you, Paladin. Let us know what the BBLs are and what all the other, things the young people say that I don't get still. People are glazing now.
What is that?
They glaze things. I think it has something to do with jism again. Maybe
it does.
We'll have to ask Tony Storm. All right. Good job, Sleaze. Good job, chat. We'll check you out later. Have a good night.